All right, let's go into Hegel. Looks like a static display.
So we decided to have one like where you can just look around and have a talk, and then there's all noise next door.
There's no lack of noise here.
No.
See, I owned Spenders in the past.
Is the show still real busy out there, or is it thinning out?
It's starting to fade out a little bit.
Good time?
Optical 3. There are 3 opticals. That's amazing. It's a monster. What kind of power are we talking about here? This is a monster. Yeah.
Oh yes. Well, in stereo, it's a monoblock that you can also use as stereo.
Oh, you can bridge it? Okay,
So
okay.
It's designed as a monoblock.
Oh, it is designed as for other
Yes, so
one.
it's,
Okay.
it's a fully balanced power amplifier.
Okay.
It's mono. Then it's 1,100 watts continuous into 8 ohms.
Wow.
It's stable at 1 ohm, so you'll have around 8,000 watts, or just less than that.
So probably as much as the wall can give you.
Yes, that's exactly.
It's got a
right.
20 amp cord in the back, or 15?
No, it's 15.
Okay.
But a stereo, it's rated at 305 watts per channel into 8 ohms.
Okay.
And we've sort of gone for torque, so it's 28 output devices per channel.
Okay.
In stereo, so if you have an old Apogee speaker, or
It still can
something
drive
in
that.
range. This is the amplifier.
Stable down to 1 ohm.
Yes, the 0.5 in stereo.
Really? Okay.
Yes. It's one of those few amplifiers that was actually designed for the. This one is new. This one is from 1.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But the original core design of this amplifier was made specifically for Apogees and old Martin Mills.
Really? Okay.
Back in the 90s. So the concept of it, the idea of Hegel, came from making a great amplifier.
For the
that could-
Apogees and,
Yes.
and even maybe sound labs and stuff, yeah.
Sure.
So, yeah. So it's an AB design.
AB design, and everything is analog power supplies.
Mhm.
There's no switch mode powers and nothing like that.
Okay.
inside.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's heavy too, huh?
Yes, this one is about. Do you do kilos or pounds?
Pounds, yeah.
110 pounds.
Okay, yeah. Don't want to do that by yourself, move it around by
You
yourself.
tried, and then you had to take a
Uh-huh.
step.
I got a good time.
Yeah, now you're walking funny, yeah. Yeah, that
It
is
was
serious.
Very close to a little accident.
Yes. Well, that's heavier than most speakers, you know, so.
The most special thing about them, because they're fairly unassuming, simple Scandinavian designs. So in all of these amplifiers, we have patented sound technology that we developed in the mid-90s. The idea behind it was to license it to other big players.
Oh, really?
Build our own amps.
Okay.
But like Sony, Harman, they didn't want to license, but like Hegel inside, like an Intel inside.
Okay.
But we patented it, and it's called Sound Engine, and there's something called the feed-forward technology. What it does is basically it samples the input signal to the amp, and samples the output signal to the amp, or
Okay.
from the amp, puts them on top of each other, switches the phase on one of them, so you're left with everything that has changed between the input and the output,
Okay.
meaning the distortion. Then we play the distortion back into the speaker output in reverse phase. we
So they cancel it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dynamically cancel out distortion.
That's
And
interesting.
we also
Okay.
get very high damping factor, so it's good dynamic bass control. And this amp is above 4,000.
Okay.
So,
So once you have these, you can drive any speaker you want and
yeah.
never have to worry. What price point are we talking about here?
In Canada, 24,000 for the power amp,
Okay.
and 9,000 I need to check.
Yeah, and the high demand, I know.
Because I'm supposed to remember the prices in both euros, dollars, and Canadian
Yeah,
dollars.
I videoed this so people can check, but
Yeah, 11.
11.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the US it's 9 and 19.
Okay. But you can make this a stereo.
Yeah. Because when you make when you make it this powerful, you're making one amplifier per phase, basically.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it's quite easy to just add 2 input stages and
Then you're done,
you can
okay.
have it. But it's not quite as silent. The noise floor rises
A little bit, okay.
Some prefer it as stereo because it sounds a little bit more romantic.
Yeah, and it probably won't dim the lights as much as 2 monoblocks would in the rest of your house, or trip a breaker. Yeah, well, very impressive. Glad you told me a little bit more about it. And I didn't know y'all have been around since the 90s, is that right?
No, that's true. We started up exporting in 1998.
Okay,
We started selling to Japan. Here in the North America, we've only been since 2009.
okay.
And we started Hegel America. Now, just last year, we started Hegel Canada.
Wow, okay.
But we've been around for some time. In the middle of the 90s, we were owned or co-owned by a big telecom company
Okay.
who invested $3-4 million to help us develop this technology.
Okay.
And when it turned out it could be licensed, the owner's original founder got to buy the company back for next to nothing.
Okay.
And then just started implementing it. And
Putting it in its own chassis, and the rest is history. Okay. Now you have another room with sound
Yeah,
right next door?
Yeah.
All right, let me go over there next.
Perfect.
Thank you, appreciate it.
That's awesome.
Well, that's great. That's one of the values of going to these shows is hearing and learning more about the brands than you typically hear. Let's see what we got here.
Hoping the next few weeks you're going to have, you'll hear something about that.
You pick tunes unless we do. Okay. Standing room only with source points. I'll definitely have to come back to listen, but again, get what value you can out of these rooms when they're busy, and that's a perfect example, guys. Talk to the people behind the brand and learn a lot. Hegel of Canada.